আমি জাস্ট একটু চেক করে নিয়ে আমাদের লাইভটা অ্যাকচুয়ালি ঠিকঠাক মতো হচ্ছে কিনা। আমি লাইভে
Okay.
চলে গেছিলাম।
Okay. Okay.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. After a long break, we are back again, and today BK School of Research is going to conduct a webinar titled COVID-19 Pandemic and Child Protection, Humanitarian Crisis. And I would like to welcome everyone who registered and who have not registered but joined. And today, for today's session, more than 800 participants from 23 countries have registered and they have joined in today's live session. And today's webinar's live session is streaming live from official channel of Research, that is named BK School of Research. So I would like to again thank you and welcome everyone for joining this session. And in today's session, on the selected topic, Professor Dr. Faraha Nawaz will deliver her speech on that selected topic. And first of all, I would like to say very little bit about research. You know, BK School of Research is a research organization which founded in 2015. Until now, about more than 50 research scholars from 20 countries are working now, and till now, more than 20 research publications has been conducted by BK School of Research, and we generally arrange seminar, workshop, conference from BK School of Research, and you can also involve in BK School of Research for doing research and any other educational activities. So we are not talking much about biggest competitors. Now I am going to introduce our honored speaker, Professor Dr. Faraha Nawaz. I would like to say something about Dr. Faraha Nawaz. Dr. Faraha Nawaz is now working as Associate Professor, Department of Public Administration, University of Rajshahi. He is also visiting research fellow, University of Oxford, UK, and international fellow, Brown University, USA. She has completed her PhD from Flinders University, Australia. She is also now a BIARI Fellow, Watson Institute of International and Public Affairs, Brown University, Australia. Her research interests are poverty, gender and development, governance and policy issues, non-government organizations, environment and climate change, migration governance. He has supervised more than 20 honors and master students and now supervising MPhil and PhD. She has published more than 50 books and the latest book name is Microfinance and Finance Empowerment in Bangladesh, Unpacking the Untold Narrative. This is published from Palgrave Macmillan Publishing. She has published more than 30 journal articles and chapters. She also writes columns in daily newspapers on different social issues of the country and the globe as well. She has also joined more than 10 international conferences in New Zealand, Australia, Malaysia, Turkey, Nepal, Bangladesh, India, Brunei, and so on. She has also engaged in more than 10 research projects. Among them, she has also conducted research experiments by worldwide. She is now also engaged in several research projects. She is also awarded many awards, more than 10 awards. So these are the very little bit about our professor. She is an Indian professor and researcher. So she will deliver her speech on COVID-19 pandemic and child protection, health or humanitarian crisis. On this topic, she will deliver her lecture. So we will enjoy her lecture. So thank you so much, Professor Nawaz, for joining with us. And British School of Research is glad to get you as an eminent speaker here. And I think today's session, we all, along with our participants from 23 countries, will enjoy your session. Please, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Bezon, for your very generous introduction about me. And I'm really moved and I'm very happy to be invited by BK School of Research. And as you said, that it consists of members from around 23 countries. And I'm happy to be invited by this international online platform. And very warm welcome to all the listeners. And I truly value each of your participation. And now let me so today I'm going to discuss about to me it is a very important and crucial issue, and but we are not talking about it, so I think this issue needs to be discussed. Now, before I go to my core research findings, let me give you a brief background that actually what do we mean by coronavirus, what is child protection, why I'm focusing on the issues, why is it important to talk about it. Now, whenever you know that in we everybody we're going through it still, that our life has been completely transformed in last few months, and we have seen that millions and millions of people have been infected, thousands and thousands of people have been died throughout the world. And we know that it is originated in China and later it spread it all over the world. And it has spread it all over 6 continents. So still we are going through it. We're not risk-free. And whenever we talk about coronavirus, there are a lot of debate and discussion is going around. However, we are talking about like its economic impact of it, social impact, political impact, overall development, impact on overall development, also on labor market. But when we talk about all these issues, uh, one important issue that always been overlooked, which is humanitarian aspect. And to me, it is as important as any of the issues. So it is really important to look at the human rights or humanitarian aspect of COVID-19 pandemic, particularly in respect of child protection or child maltreatment. Now, to me, why it is important to look at this issue, because as from Bezon's introduction, you know that my core research interest is basically gender and development. However, I'm interested in many things, from migration governance to environment protection. And currently, I'm writing a book on environment protection and climate change mitigation. But whenever I do, I always love to see the issue from a gender perspective. So I wanted to look at COVID-19 pandemic from the gender lens. But whenever I do any gender study, one important issue that always comes in front of me, which is child, because you cannot separate a child from a mother. So if you study on a mother, you must have to study on a child. So therefore, I was thinking that it is timely to talk about COVID-19 pandemic and child protection. Now, let's talk a little bit about COVID-19 first. And we all know, but still, from my side, it is important to clarify that COVID-19 or coronavirus is an infectious disease caused by a very newly discovered respiratory virus, which is called coronavirus. And we know that the outbreak of COVID-19 has spread over 6 continents. And deaths and infections have been increasing day by day. Now, when we talk about child, now let's come to that point. Who is a child? Now, there are a lot of discussion on child. Who is a child? There are a lot of definition, but I like the definition which is given by United Nations Convention on the Rights of Child. They say that any person who is under 18 years of age is a child. So any person can be a child which is under 18 years of age. Now, uh, it is important to talk about why is it important to research, to talk about child, because what I feel that we need to invest on a child, because today who is a child is a future leader of a nation. Because if you invest on a child, they are going to be a responsible citizen with positive contributions positive contributions to make in a society. So it is highly important to look at the overall development of a child. Now, when I was trying to look at child protection issue in the context of COVID-19 pandemic or disease outbreak, I was moved by some of the theories, because when we in academia, it's important to look at the theoretical foundation, that what the theorists talk about child protection. And when you talk about child protection, there are a lot of debate and discussion going around. Like, some people are saying that child should be protected by the state. Some people are saying child should be protected by the family. Now, Leave uh, said that for overall development of children, it is very important to social interaction is very important, and you can see that how social interaction have been negatively impacted by COVID-19 pandemic, because children cannot go out, they are always inside the home, their movement have been restricted, they cannot go to schools, so they cannot interact with the teachers, with the other children, their friends. So you see how social interaction have been negatively affected by COVID-19 pandemic. And there is another theory, and I was really moved by this theory, which is given by Erik Erikson's theory. And Erik Erikson said that child development happens at 8 stages. He called psychosocial development of children. And then the most important theory that was given by Uri Bronfenbrenner. And what he said that child protection, when you talk about and the name of, there is another name of the theory which is called ecological theory of human development. And he said that child and environment is positively correlated, and child and environment is highly they interact with each other. So it's very important. Environment plays a key role for child protection. And in his theory, he talked about child development happens at 4 different stages. He said it can happen at a meso level, macro level, exo level, and micro level. So I'm not going to that discussion, but the core idea is environment plays a key role for child development or child protection. Now, what is child protection? Like, there are lot of discussion going around what is child protection. Now, when I was looking at the literature, I was moved by Article 19 of United Nations Convention on the Rights of Child, where it is said that we have to protect our child from all types of violence. That can be physical violence, sexual violence, mental violence, emotional violence, and also prolonged neglect. Now, neglect is also another important indicator of child protection. Now, what is neglect? Neglect is something that, for example, if our parents or caregivers are financially or socially or they're capable of providing economic or medical or health support or education support to the children, but despite of being capable, they are not providing it. That is called neglect. And this is also a very important indicator of child protection. Now, when you talk about child protection, we need to focus on some special type of children, so the children who are sex workers, children who are affected by AIDS, trafficked children, though the children who are physically handicapped, who are mentally handicapped or disabled, special children, children who are prostitutes, who are affected by child pornography. So these are the special type of children. So when you talk about child protection, we have to give a special consideration to all these children. So we have to protect our children from all types of exploitation. And now, when we talk about child protection, um, it's important to look at the legal framework, that what laws are telling us. Now, throughout the world, there are a lot of many laws. Um, but we know that particularly in pandemic times, like COVID-19 pandemic, it's a very different, we are going through a very different type of situation. And in this situation, laws is not working actually. But let me tell you about Bangladesh, the country where I born and brought up. We have actually many laws. We have around 35 laws. We have a Children Act, 1974, which is a principal law. We have recently revised Children Act in 2013. We have Labor Act. We have Factory Act. We have Employment of Children Act. We have Women and Children Repression Prevention Act. We have Child Rights, Child Labor Restraint Act. So there are a lot of acts and laws we have. But are these laws working, particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic time? So the answer is very straightforward. It is no. Now, let me describe this issue from my primary and secondary research, because I've conducted a little bit of primary research. During pandemic time, it is very difficult to go to the field, but I had to conduct some online primary research. So I talked with some parents. Now let me talk a little bit about child marriage. One of the key indicator of child protection, that we have to protect our children from child marriage. Now, let me tell you what is happening during the pandemic time regarding child marriage. And it has actually devastating impact on child, because in Bangladesh, you all know about BRAC, and BRAC conducted a research where they found that there are 73 separate child marriages happened in 11 districts in just 2 weeks' time. So you can see that, and then I'm going to tell you why it is happening, why it is increasing during the pandemic time. And it is anticipated. Even FPA have conducted a study, and where they say that if this pandemic continues, there will be 13 million more child marriages will take place throughout the world. And every year, there are around 12 million girls married before the age of 18. That means 1 in every 5 girls are getting married by the age of 18. And UNICEF has conducted a study in many African countries and in Asian countries, and they found that everywhere it is aggravating, and child marriage is increasing. Now the question is why, right? Now I had gone through some of the literature, and also I talked with some parents and caregivers, that why it is increasing, why child marriage is increasing. And I was informed that there are many reasons. One of the key reasons is the parents or caregivers are taking this pandemic time as an opportunity to go for low-cost marriages and dowry-free marriages, because they don't really need to invite too many people. So it is a kind of like hidden marriages. And there are as you know, a lot of migration is happening. So when the migrants are returning their home, they're looking for brides. This is another reason. Third reason is ongoing closure of schools, because they're not coming They're not going to school. So parents are thinking, taking them as a burden for the family. Then another important reason is the financial crisis, because people are losing their jobs. So their financial crisis of poverty is a very important factor that is really is increasing child marriage. And also, in many countries, like many countries in Bangladesh, NGOs or non-government organizations play a key role here. They go to the field to stop the marriage, right? But now everything stopped. Their movement have been restricted. So in many ways, there are many reasons, there are many causes why the child marriage is aggravating. And we all know what is the impact. Now, impact of child marriage is very high. It is a lifelong consequences, because once a child get married by the age of 18, it is less likely that they will continue their education, right? So they will not remain in school. The second thing is it's more likely to experience domestic violence, and it's more likely to have some physical complication. Like many, their immunity always, when they get pregnant at early stage, their immunity goes down and they suffer from a lot of diseases, including sexually transmitted disease, malaria, so on, and different types of deadly diseases. So a lot of not only on health impact, but also the psychological impact is huge on on children. So child marriage is definitely aggravating. And then another important aspect is dropout from schools. Then I talked with some school teachers from semi-urban areas to understand what is their perception about the dropout after the pandemic. What will happen after the pandemic? We know that like many countries in Bangladesh as well, the country where I born and brought up, the dropout rate has been decreased at primary level at least. However, since the ongoing closure of schools, the school children are at home, and a lot of children are now getting married by the age of 18. So it is more likely that they will not continue their education. So that will lead the permanent exit from the education. So when I talked with those school teachers, they said that when any disaster comes, because Bangladesh is a disaster-prone country, and we know natural calamity is very common in our country. So after the disaster, they found that a lot of particularly girl children, they'll never come back to schools. Okay, so their perception is that a lot of absenteeism and irregular attendance and also dropout will take place after the pandemic. And Save the Children, we all know about Save the Children, right? Save the Children published a report, Save the Children report, and where they found that, where it has been estimated by them that 10 million, globally 10 million children will not come back to school again. So dropout rate will be very high after the pandemic. And now when I talked with those teachers, I tried to find out that what is their perception, what do they think about it. They told me that they think that because since the school there is a long time school closure, that is why they think that they will not come back to school, because in the meantime they will engage in child labor and child marriage will and some of them will get married. So child marriage and child labor will aggravate in the meantime. So they will less likely to come back to school. And then another important factor is child abuse, very important. And globally, a study has been conducted where it is found that 1% economic crisis in family leads to 20% child abuse. So you see how it is correlated. And in child abuse is happening in many ways. Physical abuse, that means the physical harm, actual physical harm. Then mental abuse is happening in many ways. That is discrimination, restricting your child's movements. So non-physical form of hostile treatment on a child. And then sexual abuse. Sexual abuse means the rape, molestation. In many ways, it is happening. So, and another important indicator which I want to repeat, which is neglect. That means parent and caregiver is capable of providing some services, health, education, medical treatment, and emotional support. They are capable, but they are not giving it. They are neglecting their children. So it is one of the important indicator of child protection. Now, what I feel that these are some of the very brief kind of like my ideas that I wanted to share. And then when we consider about recovery plan, that what would happen, because this is the high time to think about the recovery plan, because this is happening and we need to overcome this. So to me, I think that whenever government should play the key role. So whenever government take any policies or think about any recovery plan, this humanitarian issue, particularly in respect of child protection, they should consider this issue seriously. And also, we know that cash transfer programs play a key role, and government should continue the support to the schools, to the school children, as they did before, to continue their education. And lots of awareness program needs to be taken. And above all, I think people's mental model needs to be changed. I think that's all from me. And again, I'm very thankful to BK School of Research for inviting me. Thank you very much, Bezon.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am, for your excellent presentation, and I hope all of our audience has enjoyed a lot this session. And I see there are some comments and questions as well. So I think uh, all the session was very informative and well as well. So I have mentioned some comments also in the screen. Now I am going to tell our audience to uh, ask any queries about our today's selected topic. You can ask, and our honorable speaker can try to reply. So thank you so much, ma'am, for your excellent presentation. Now we are going to some queries. The first query from Tina.
Effects on. Thank you, Lord Lena, for your question. And as I said that the effect is very high, very negative, highly negative effect of pandemic and epidemics on child protection outcomes. And I discussed that how it is affecting. It is affecting because the particularly child labor, dropout rate, child abuse. Yeah, so these three indicators. So it is negative. It is putting negative impact on these three indicators most. Thank you, Lina, for your query.
Thank you, ma'am. The next a compliment from Tania Tony. She has thank you for your insightful uh, presentation.
Thank
And
you, Tony. Thank you for making your time to listen to me. Thank you.
Sanjay Kumar Boni, she has also thanked you.
Thank you,
And
Barik, for your comment.
Lina again has dropped a comment.
The nature of the virus and its spread has led to the global adoption of a few key policy measures to control infection rates, including quarantine and isolation. Yes, that's very right. You're very right, Lena, about it.
So next question is from Khalid.
How we can build a bridge between child empowerment and child protection in developed country perspective of Bangladesh. In developed country perspective of Bangladesh, I don't really don't understand, Khalid, what you were talking about, because I think you are trying to say that Bangladesh is a developing country, is yet to develop, right? Develop Development country, child empowerment
Developing
and
country, developing
developing.
country,
Yes, I think
right?
developing country. How can we build a bridge between child empowerment and child protection? I think again government should play the key role, but it is important we have to start from us first. So I think each and every person has a responsibility. So we overall government should play the key role, and all the actors should come together to 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 take actions regarding it. And a change will not happen overnight. So we have to take measures from a personal level first. Thank
Right.
you.
Another compliment from Dr. Narejo. So I'd like
uh
to say
Nareju, thank you.
I'd like to say our participants that thank you so much for joining with us, and you can get your certificate with securing 60% marks of the quiz from this webinar competition. So you can get it from link talking about and the link will be given in the video description box. So another declaration from BK School of Research I would like to take now, that BK School of Research is now searching for 200 research assistants from different countries of the world. So you can apply and you can join. The link is given to our official Facebook page and LinkedIn page. So you can search it and can apply and join with us as a research assistant and can help us in research team. So besides, you can also participate in our research team, where you can where you can do research and write article and publish in international journals. So thank you so much. Another wish from Gaur Krishna about our webinar. He is happy to join with us. So
Thank you,
another
Gaur.
from Khalid Soro comment.
I think it's income again, lower level of income and future financial ins- insecurity play major roles in child marriage. That's very correct. I said that financial crisis, because and unemployment and poverty is one of the
Okay,
key
another
causes.
compliment I have mentioned it.
Yeah, very
Another
good.
short question from Gaur Krishna. How can child labor be eradicated in person? So I think
Again, again, I don't have any straightforward answer for this. Child labor, as I said,
okay,
that lot of policies needs to be taken, and as well as lot of awareness programs needs to be taken, and each and every person should be conscious, should play a key role regarding it. Excellent topic. Thank you. Thank you so much.
so many audience
Oh,
and participants.
Nasirul, thank you, Shujan, for as you are listening me. It's a matter of a great pleasure hearing from you, Madam. I am really pleased and happy to learn from you. Thank you, Shujan, that you are making your time to listen me. Thank you.
So many of the participant has asked many questions and queries. So as our time is very constrained and limited, that is why we are not being able to take all the questions, but we will try to reply in our comment section, that your comment will be stayed, and we will try to give a reply from our honorable speaker. And if you have any questions, you can contact with us with our through our official email address, and you can also contact with Professor Dr. Faraha Nawaz. She will try to reply all of your questions. So with this, we can conclude our session here. So for the last time, I would like to say, Dr. Farhan Nawaz, to say something at the last.
Again, thank you very much, Bijan. I take you as a very promising young researcher, and I do appreciate your effort regarding BK School of Research. You are very young, and you are an emerging research scholar, but at this very early age, you have developed a research network, which is an international research platform. So I do appreciate your effort, and I wish BK School of Research a huge success. Thank you again for inviting me, Bijon. And thank you, all the listeners, participants, and everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us and for your valuable time and valuable discussion. I think we are from BK School of Research. All the participants and the governing body of BK School of Research is very proud to proud to get you here. And thank you so much. I think we will conduct more webinar seminars like this with you. And thank you so much for joining us. And I would like to thank all the participants for joining us and for giving your comments. And thank you so much. We are going to end this webinar here. Thank you so much. We will meet in next webinar. Thank you.